Hey guys, this is Jerry James with Dubtown Bullies. I know it don't look like it, but hey, I'm in my work gear. Just taking a brief little break here. Just wanted to come on with a little, I don't know, short piece of advice, I guess. And look, guys, I'm not a big name, successful breeder or anything yet. Um, I'm still trying to dig this thing out of the dirt. Um, I have a, experience, history in horse breeding, and I feel like I know what I'm doing. You know. Um, I know what the standard is, and I know what I'm trying to do. I was talking to a guy earlier today, and he's a lot younger than me, of course. So, I just wanted to maybe just provide a little bit of insight, right quick, that might help. And then again, it might not. It might come across as just an old man thing, and if it does come across as an old man thing, then well, just take it for that and blow it off, right? But if you're trying to be a good dog breeder, and I'm talking about creating dogs, right? Which at the end of the day is the central tenet of things, is create the best dogs in accordance with the standard that you can, and that's what you should be striving for. Everything else is extraneous, right? Likes on Facebook, likes on TikTok, the algorithms, the social media drama, calling out people at shows, um, getting caught up in drama. Uh, Folks, that stuff detracts from what you're trying to do. I half-ass pay attention to what's going on at shows, but I don't pay real close attention to who's winning. Um, that kind of thing, and I'll tell you why. Um, it really don't have anything to do with what I'm doing. If you're focused on the standard, okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a tip, and I believe this. Now I could be, look, guys, I could be completely wrong, but I don't think I am. So, but let me just give you this tip. That judge out there in the show ring does not know what bloodlines your dog is, right? So, for all you bloodline chasers who are all trying to mimic and do the same thing that everybody else is doing, that judge don't know what bloodlines your dog is. So don't focus so much on the bloodlines of, you know, so-called popular dogs and things like that if you don't happen to have them or whatever, or, type thing. Do your thing, right? Focus on the standard, do your thing, create your dogs, take them to the show ring, present your dog, and then let your work stand for itself. Okay, at the end of the day, um, that's really the only thing that matters, right? So, people can talk shit Sunday through Friday, right? That's fine. Come Saturday is what matters, right? You put your dog in front of that judge, all four of them judges over the course of a day. That's what matters. That's who matters. Now, also keep in mind, showing is marketing, okay? So when you go to a show, you're there for the people on the rail. You're there for the people who came to the show. Chances are a judge is never going to buy one of your dogs. So don't worry about whether or not the judge necessarily likes your dog, okay? There are going to be people there who do like your dogs, right? Judges have their preferences, and there's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So your dog, even though your dog may fit the standard pretty well, and sometimes it's hard to get past judges' prejudices. Okay. So if you don't happen to win, or if your dog doesn't, dog doesn't do well or whatever, you know what? Don't, man, don't get twisted up in that. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm sick. Um, yes, the judges need to evaluate your dog, and yes, you need to, you need to take that to heart, but sometimes you also need to take it with a grain of salt, right? But just remember, you're also there so other people can see your dogs in person, right? People that come to the show. And I'm talking about, look, if you're a show dog breeder like I am, you know, um, I want to breed great show dogs. That's my goal, right? So, like this year, we're doing our breedings and everything. Next year, we'll be showing our dogs. We'll be showing next year what we created this year. All right, that's kind of the cycle. So just remember, focus on the end goal. Don't let all the extraneous stuff distract you. Don't let the drama distract you. Don't worry about the algorithm. You know, don't worry about the number of likes. I mean, it's always nice to see, people like your stuff or comment on your stuff with a nice comment. Man, I got a great comment today. Really brightened my day. That was awesome that somebody, recognized what I'm about, what I'm trying to do, kind of thing. And sure, makes you feel good, right? But, don't get hung up on it if it don't. Unless you get really, really, really fortunate, okay? And you just happen to hit on that one dog right out the get-go. Being successful as a dog breeder is damn hard work. And it takes at least 5 years. I remember my mentor when I was in horses. She gave me this piece of advice. She said, it'll be 10 years before anybody even knows your name. Well, dog game moves a little faster, fortunately. So give it 5 years, right? Now, again, there are some people that, kind of like winning the Powerball, whatever, they hit it big quick, and that's great. That's not everybody's destiny. But if you're out there building a program like I am, and not just breeding dogs to sell dogs, it takes time. It's, because everybody starts from ground zero. Everybody buys their first dog, okay? And then you start creating from there. And I didn't have a whole lot of luck when I first started. Ran into some issues. Basically had to start over, So here, I think this is my, gosh, guys, I think this is my 5th year. Or it might be my 4th. I know it's the 4th year I started keeping track of how much money I've spent. So that'll get your attention pretty quick. But it takes a minute, right? In the breeding process, and having your own litters, and then selecting the dogs that you want to retain for your program. And I've told people this before, one of the most important things that any breeder will ever do is to decide which dogs they're going to pick from the litter that they produced to perpetuate their program. And some people are good at picking, and some people aren't. And that really determines the success of any breeding program, is how good are you at picking what you're going to keep. And that's the key right there. So I'll just give you a good piece, what I feel like is a good piece of advice. Pick those puppies at 8 weeks, plus or minus 3 days. Kind of like we used to say in horses. You'll get a glimpse of what your horse is going to be at 3 months, and then not again until 2 years, because they grow like a seesaw. There for the longest time, I thought Buster was high in the rear. And then when he got to be about 2 years old, he leveled out, right? So, even though he's a little straight and stifle, and notice I said straight, not stiff. He's definitely not stiff. He's still not high in the rear. And he wasn't high in the rear as a puppy either. So sometimes, you got to be patient, but you also have to know when to pick. You got to know when you're getting a glimpse of what your dog is going to be when it matures. Okay? So 8 weeks plus or minus 3 days. That's when you pick. And if you got a litter, right? If you got your own litter, and we're starting on that right now, right? Every time you pick them up, stack them. Get them used to being stacked, right? So get them used to peanut butter, and get them used to standing up, and start stacking them babies. So when it comes time, when it is 8 weeks plus or minus 3 days, they'll stay still long enough for you to actually evaluate them. Okay? So that's important. But back to the original part of this thing, right? Keep focused on what you are doing. Okay? Don't let all the extraneous stuff, don't get caught up with that. Don't get caught up in that. Because none of that benefits you one way or the other. And all it does is, it's a time suck is what it is, But, maybe I'm not successful enough because I don't have any haters. Or if I have some haters, they definitely don't let me know about it. But usually haters will let you know, some way or another. So, I don't know. Maybe when I get some haters, I'll feel successful. Who knows? Anyway, keep your eye on the prize, folks. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.